hoarding the rights to Spider-Man by making crappy Spider-Man movies without said Spider-Man. You can tell Marvel isn't invested when they give you the boring flat logo instead of the 3D one with the orgy of over-the-top hero posing on the sides of the letters. Amazon. Movie gives us the backstory to Madam Web, rather than giving us just the backstory.
I found it! I found the spider!
Wow, that's incredible! You found a spider that no one has ever found or captured alive before. You did it off camera. Truly remarkable. Bad guy goes full murder hobo before checking to see that the spider was actually in the jar.
What are you doing?
Murdering people? How is that a question that needs asked?
No one helped me when my family was starving.
Are we gonna get a scene showing his rough childhood? No? Just gonna give us a sentence and call it good for his villain motivation? Cool. He's probably lying anyway. Asshole.
Give it to me.
We find out that Constance needs the spider so she can try to cure her unborn child of a disease, but there's a massive forest here and luck is on your side. Go find another one. Carrying around 2 massive nails for no logical reason. And if there's one choosing not to show us what they are. There are 7 cuts in 5 seconds that show these people coming out of the trees to help her. Even Liam Neeson doesn't need that many cuts to jump over a fence. Look at all the Los Arañas. Sure would have been a good idea to send a few after Ezekiel. I mean, I'd appreciate it because then we could avoid this entire movie. Waiting this long to drop a spider on the woman whose life it could save. Surely the Los Arañas keep a few in their pocket as they travel. Or at the very least, there must have been a few lingering at the entrance to their secret door. Like little bellhops or something. Is the sternum the best place for a spider to bite someone and transfer venom? I'm just thinking anatomically here, which is always a bad idea, I know. But even I know that a vein is probably better. Stab the neck area. There's a far better chance of running into something from the circulatory system there. The sternum is like the desert. It's just like bone. On the one hand, I feel like giving a sin back for avoiding the screaming woman gives birth cliche. But on the other hand, the movie has offered a reality where a woman can give birth almost accidentally in some sort of drug coma, which I thought had to be some sinful bullshit. So I looked up accidental drug coma birth just to be sure. I discovered Twilight births, and now this is a sin for that horrific part of history. Holy fucking shit, look at the size of that newborn baby's head. God, please help that woman's punkadoo recover. Oh, she's dying anyway. Never mind. If you ever wonder what it's like to go to the eye doctor and select the proper eyeglass strength with the lens option device thingy, this is it. 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 4.
She will come back when she needs answers.
Come back? Where are you sending her? Why not keep her in the rainforest with the spider tribe so she can be raised with people who will know how to handle her developing powers? Why are you sending this girl away if you know her path won't be easy? This asshole holds the baby rather than moving her closer to Constance's face so she can see her child properly before dying. Or even just move the baby closer to her mother's hands for f***'s sake. The once quite bald baby now has hair, and I'm positive that is a continuity error rather than a superpower making the baby grow hair rapidly situation. Movie skips the part where we see how the baby makes its way to America to live a normal life entirely unaware of how she survived the initial years of needing, milk and shit, because some backstory information just isn't interesting. A movie is going to struggle when they opt to have a major brand in their movie that has essentially gone out of business, rather than ask an active company to pay for the prime real estate.
Cassie, I lost the pulse. I'm starting compressions now.
He doesn't, though. He banters back and forth with Cassie while using the soon-to-be corpse as a resting spot for his useless hands. This man just told you he had to start compressions because the person's heart stopped, and you start driving like a maniac causing him to stop compressions? Ask any ambulance driver if this driving behavior is cause for alarm, and they will tell you that they didn't watch this movie because it just looked bad.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Just put it in your pocket and then throw it away somewhere else.
That kid drew that art piece with a used crayon on spare paper from the nurse's station. You burn it right in front of them. That'll teach them to give you shit art. I'd make a great mentor.
Apparently I have no future.
Sony Spider-Man Universe.
Look, I'll be back tomorrow, but no more excuses.
I swear, what?
Movie wants to pretend like landlords actually visit tenants in person to find out why the rent hasn't been paid, when in reality they just slide an eviction notice under the door and call the sheriff's office. Feeding this stray cat milk. I hope you're ready to clean up its diarrhea and vomit later. Stop feeding cats milk!
All right, I'm gonna cut your seatbelt, and when I do, you're gonna fall.
Why are you cutting the seatbelt if Ben is already on the other side next to the man? Can't he just unbuckle it and pull the man out? Why are you even in the car right now? This feels like an unnecessary, you need Cassie to be in the water, don't you? Blood bubbles.
I just want to go home and watch Idol.
Wanting to watch Idol rather than Fraggle Rock reruns. Whoa, what just happened? This dude withheld a printed program from his seatmate, stared at her creepily for 3 seconds, and then she agreed to go home with him? Joey Tribbiani and Barney Stinson combined couldn't pick up a stranger that fast. Staring at the floor in hopes that when you look up at your target, it will look really badass. Well, I hope you enjoyed that action sequence that even CW comic book actors would be embarrassed of, because that's the only spider powers you'll get to see until the end of this movie in another future vision. No.
But we all die someday. Nothing we can really do to stop that.
Yeah, but of all the ways to die, murder is probably one of the least preferred. It's right up there with choking on a corn dog at the county fair and being forced to attend a Nickelback concert.
How are you poisoning me?
Great question. It's obviously not based solely on skin-to-skin contact, because you boinked and are totally fine.
Yes, please, your password.
It's really strange to see Madam Web dive into 50 Shades of Grey territory, but hey, whatever it takes to make this movie interesting, I guess.
And I'll stop the poison.
He doesn't, but maybe should have? What if she lied about her password? Do you have plans to operatically seduce the entire NSA?
I feel like there's more of a story there.
Thing every audience member said while leaving this movie somehow makes it into the script.
We're ready to start. What? What?
They're starting, so you should get in there.
Why can't everyone just experience awkward boredom together?
Especially with Richard away.
Why are we talking about people who do not matter to this movie? Is it neat that we're seeing Peter Parker's mother pregnant and complaining about her MIA husband? No!
Does it have a name?
Poor attempt at a cameo. That's a good name.
Games.
I talked to all two of my female friends, and they confidently told me that no one actually likes baby shower games.
My mom said the crusts would make my hair go curly. It was years before I figured that one out.
That your mom was an untrustworthy liar took me seconds.
Cassie, what's your guess?
Giving the socially awkward woman another chance to strike out and make everyone in the room uncomfortable.
The place is packed with explosives, industrial-grade fireworks.
Do all New York firefighters have the contents of every warehouse memorized for just such an emergency? Or are you trying to set up a far-fetched and unrealistic climax to the film? It's that, isn't it?
Wait. Check his abdomen.
And internal injuries. Good catch.
Here's a confusing moment when Cassie is hearing an echo from a previous thread of time when she gave instructions to check the patient's abdomen. Is she saying it again out loud in this timeline? No, but Ben acts as though she does anyway.
Cassie, I need you at the triage.
Sir, you're okay.
He's okay? You're doing f***ing chest compressions on a man that is okay? Why? Cassie starts chest compressions without first checking for a pulse.
It's okay. Okay?
Okay. 30 minutes have passed and we still haven't webbed anything. This Mack truck barreled down the street and rammed the ambulance, I assumed, because it had the right of way and was just driving on its merry little path. But this overhead shot reveals the Mack truck was just going fast as f*** to absolutely nowhere. Hell, the ambulance stopped the Mack truck from driving like a maniac off into the water.
The scale of the NSA surveillance is unprecedented.
But not so greatly protected that the movie felt the need to show how Ezekiel snuck in to retrieve it.
As long as it has the ability to find those women now, before they get their powers.
Movie shows the back of Ezekiel's head so much while he's talking that I'm beginning to think the movie might not understand which side of the head the mouth is on. Going with the Alastair Sim version of A Christmas Carol instead of the clearly superior Muppet Christmas Carol.
It's the last place you want to be, but it would help Susan if you came.
Guilting a person into leaving their emotional safety blanket to attend a traumatic event just so someone else can feel better about themselves. No window in any building in New York opens that smoothly.
This isn't gonna change anything.
Writers decide that our heroine will now understand her visions can be altered with the example of a pigeon, rather than the example of a human being that died days past. Visions, man. They're really subject to plot conveniences, aren't they?
What are the odds of them all being in the same place at the same time?
Like 1,000,000,000 to 1 or something. And when you add in Cassie being there, it's impossible. But because this means the movie is going to be finally doing something, I'm honestly okay with it. I'm not really okay with it. This train is way too clean for New York Transit. Half of those seats should be filled with old newspapers or leftover coffee someone spilled, and there should be at least one naked passenger daring anyone to stare at them. I think the biggest miracle of this movie, besides it being greenlit in the first place, is that a stranger rallied several stranger teenagers to action in under 10 seconds. Having an entire row of empty chairs and choosing to sit right next to another human being. This is the guy who picks the urinal right next to yours when the rest of the bathroom is empty.
For the public's help in finding a person of interest seen in the attack.
That attack took place 3 minutes ago, and you expect me to believe the cops already got a description of the suspect, contacted all the local media outlets, and the radio Cassie just happens to be listening to is already reading it? That's some grade A bullshit. Certified farm fresh bullshit.
Anyone who wants to leave can leave right now.
Okay.
Wait. Sorry, no, you can't.
Actual kidnapping, ×3.
You flipped me off.
With how Cassie acts and talks to people, I have a hard time believing this narrows things down at all. Cassie has thrown a cell phone out of a window to remain undetected, but continues to wear the bright red jacket and drive the same stolen cab, dragging the queen into this film.
1 second, Cat.
daring not to feed your cat the moment they demand food. You are just asking to find your favorite sock shredded and left in the toilet, Cassie. Feed your cat, but not milk.
How would you know if you could climb a wall if you've never tried?
Well, my best guess would be by trying. Movie takes 53 minutes before allowing the lead character to attempt to use her powers, which ultimately won't work because she doesn't possess the cool type of powers, just the ones that activate when she's been nearly drowned. I wish I could reach through the screen and give her a hint. Go stick your head in the toilet! Also, this right here was the best metaphor for Sony trying to make Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. And it's ironic that they put it in this film without being aware of that.
Okay,
Littering.
let's go do this.
And then they leave the campfire unattended and depart the woods that will surely be burning to the ground when Cassie returns for them, right?
Keep it coming.
Not telling your server thank you for bringing your food. This is the same day these girls were feared kidnapped. How did this guy at the roadside diner get the next day's paper? Does he also have weird spider powers?
Possible sighting in Churchill, New Jersey.
There are hundreds of 911 calls each hour in New York City alone. How the f*** is she filtering every single one to figure out which calls might be related to the missing girls? And adding in the entire state of New Jersey on top of that? While watching live feeds on 9 different screens? Everything about this character and her technology is absolute bullshit. Ezekiel would have been better served just getting random visions of the girls he's chasing than trying to tie this woman into the plot. Where the f*** is their campfire? Did Smokey the Bear come by and put it out after they left?
We have to go.
Wow, it sure was nice of the waitress to turn off the sound system right as she needed to say her line. Also, I find it hard to believe the management at the diner didn't have anything to say about 3 people dancing on a table designed to hold the weight of food only. Oh, movie sure got us by showing an alternate future without the blurry screen indicator that it always does. Oh boy, were we fooled. I absolutely believed they'd kill their main character and the 3 other characters that will someday become far more interesting spider people in movies that will never get made. Why the hell does Cassie bother passing the log truck if she was just going to swerve to the right? It's like her future sight gives her confidence she'll survive being a garbage person.
Guys, we have to go.
The girls clearly saw Ezekiel, climbed off the table, and then took a few steps towards him before being shocked that he was still by the front door exactly where they spotted him. What is the plan here?
I don't know what he wants. I don't know anything.
I'm starting to wonder if Dakota Johnson even knew she was in this movie, or if they just filmed her taking a day trip to New York City. She spends this movie just as confused as the audience.
My dad got deported 6 months ago. It's just me and my dad.
Well, no, if he got deported, then it's just you.
I don't need anyone else to look out for me.
The last hour and 9 minutes of the film would appear to suggest otherwise. Cassie sees a version of the future where she leaves the 3 kids, because surely the children need some good old exposure therapy right after revealing their tragic past with abandonment issues. Nice knowing that in this vision of the future, there are super helpful people that leave some lights on at the active crime scene.
No one survives once enough poison enters their system. You won't be so lucky next time.
Why are you doing this?
I like this scene a lot better when Kylo and Rey were doing it. Well, okay, that's a lie. I didn't like it when they did it either, but at least that movie explained how they were able to talk over long distances. And it had an awesome throne room fight scene. This movie offers me nothing. Also, are they actually talking to each other? Is this a vision? Is this a super cool Las Arañas skill that hasn't been fully explored before now? The movie decides none of that is important and trusts that as soon as the scene is over, the audience will move on. Also, isn't it super convenient that this vision allows Cassie to discover vital information without leaving the comfort of her bed? Did Ezekiel astral project into her dreams? Did she press into his mind? No clue. All we know is that Cassie goes back to sleep, decides not to leave the girls or visit the scene of the crime, and then sleeps through until daybreak to make all her choices based on something that could have been a dream after some bad dinner.
But you have to pick up the exact same rhythm.
Teaching the girls CPR instead of trying to awaken their spider powers. This might be the most low-budget training montage since Rocky V.
I've never said this before in my entire life, but you're a good teacher.
Of course you haven't said this before. You haven't met Cassie before. God, the dialogue in this movie makes me want to drink a neurotoxin. Also, what the f***, Julia? You stopped doing chest compressions and now the Pillow Man will die!
I can't pretend to understand what's going on here.
Uncle Ben takes in a parentless child and doesn't ask enough questions, cliche. Ben doesn't say, bye friend I haven't seen since your mental breakdown who was driving a stolen f***ed up taxi carrying 3 kidnapped children. Have a nice flight to another country while I sit here and take all the heat for these crimes in this scene. What? How the f*** did Cassie leave the country when she's the lead suspect in an ongoing kidnapping? They tend to be pretty strict about international travel. This was 2 years after 9/11. 2 years! Security was way tighter then. Yep, that's a tree. Cassie, probably. Cassie, with no experience and no guide, boards a plane and bus to the jungle to find a tree and a picture by using an old map. And it works! Also, dressing like a fucking Nirvana fan in the goddamn jungle.
There are powers you don't even know you're capable of.
Well, she would know exactly what she was capable of if you just fucking raised her here. Who the fuck is this guy coming out of the trees with one stabby spear instead of the two we keep seeing over and over again? Did he drop his other spear, climb back up the tree, and then jump down to make it look even cooler? It's like the movie didn't think someone would be watching the flashes frame by frame or something.
Las Arañas could not stand by.
But they could snap her neck on the way to the magical Healy spider pool place. Are we really seeing every scene twice? God, please kick off the apocalypse so I can focus on last-second redemptive prayers instead of watch this redundant bullshit. Oh, shit, did this movie just anger me so deeply that I would rather be reunited with religion? F you, movie. Good. Now Cassie can see how much of an asshole Santiago was for not letting her mom hold her before she died. Then Cassie can kill Santiago, take his powers and his strange vine costume, take her rightful place as Spider Queen, send a Spidey army back to New York to kill Ezekiel and begin to systematically poison everyone in charge of public bathroom tampon dispensers. And now the future Cassie hugs past Mama Constance while past baby Cassie is floating in embryonic fluid and... Is this a time travel movie now? Or is this a vision where Cassie's dominating guilt of judging her mother has forced the vision to become a safe space for a healing hug of forgiveness? And if the second is true, how could Cassie go on to trust any of her visions moving forward?
I was there. I was in the room.
Where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened.
Now you're starting to see what you're capable of.
An hour and a half after the movie started, she's just beginning to get a grasp of her whatever the powers. This is like being invited to a rave and they only give you the glow sticks and Molly as a parting gift when you leave.
I can't do the leapy, crawly, like death poison.
Reminding us of another reason why this movie sucks.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
Oh, f*** off. Also, by take on the responsibility, you mean what exactly? Come on, Cassie. This is the closest you've come for answers and you're not trying to read the small print? Does he mean that if you use your precog powers to save living things from dying, you get upgrades? Is this an XP situation where you can mid-max yourself on a talent tree? Ask a f***ing question!
Let's try and remember to pick up after ourselves, okay, guys?
Hey,
All right, throwing popcorn.
Kids.
The baby is not waiting. He's coming now.
Leave it to Peter Parker to f*** everything up again. They said, sorry, Mary, you aren't that important of a character, so you don't get face-to-camera time in the front seat. We're going to put your currently in labor ass in the middle back seat where you will absolutely get stuck.
I might have something.
You have jack shit. That security camera wouldn't be able to clearly show someone's face right under it, let alone in a moving vehicle at night from 20 feet away. It's 2024. News stations still show security footage of people robbing gas stations where everyone in the frame looks like a potato. Line of sight on amniotic fluid is crucial for activation of precog powers. Noted. The ambulance has to ram through concrete to make this work, and somehow there is zero rubble on the ground and barely any damage to the front end. What the f***? This dude would have been completely fine if he'd stayed still. Look at this angle. Instead, he literally jumps into the ambulance's path of impact. This villain is dumb. I guess only the people in Cassie's social circle are important to keep alive, because f*** the people in that car, am I right? How far can Ezekiel jump? Where's he jumping to? Who knows? Camera cuts away so we don't have to think about these things.
Whatever happens, I promise I'm going to protect you guys.
This is the kind of thing that would have been heartfelt and emotional with 90 minutes of proper character development. Here, just sounds like she casually changed her mind.
It's a death trap. And that's a good thing. As long as we're not the ones who get trapped.
And that, my fellow sinners, is all we need to know about the plan. Ooh, ah, oh, ah. What? This guy with super strength took an ambulance to the spine and got up like it was nothing, but a single firework took him out? Today I learned that the wind from the helicopter is strong enough to lift a shield-sized piece of metal debris and fling it into the side of a building. On the flip side, I also learned movies lie. Previous fireworks were strong enough to take out Ezekiel and break through brick walls, and now she can suddenly block one flying at full speed with a piece of metal she hardly has a grip on? I thought we were told Cassie didn't get super strength from her spider bite. You know what? I don't care anymore. Even my sin counter is becoming less interested.
Use the web.
But wasn't she doing that before now? How else did she know to stop Anya or swing Maddie around or lift up her shield to save Julia at the perfect time? Dramatic voiceover is either way behind or Cassie has accidentally her way through most of this so far. All three girls have managed to jump, fall, and dangle in horribly precarious positions because the movie really can't avoid the damsel in distress cliche despite itself.
You can't save all three!
See, the movie thought it could take the scene where Green Goblin makes Peter Parker choose between the trolley of kids and MJ and somehow make it more epic by adding a third falling body. But all it accomplished was reminding me how much better a Spider-Man movie is with Spider-Man in it. Whoa, close one. Cassie almost did something interesting for once. Good thing the movie put a stop to that.
But the girls were never your future. I was.
Yeah, so you, bad guy, because all your visions using the same spider powers she has were lying to you for reasons. Because her powers are cooler, since she got the spider dose via umbilical cord seconds before her mom died. And that makes her even more able to see specific futures and stuff. Except that one time when she saw the girls getting into the helicopter, but then everyone in the helicopter died. Except that future. But anyway, haha, we win because of reasons. Woo! A falling Pepsi sign kills the villain in this movie. Congratulations, Madam Web. You've surpassed the Pepsi product placement of World War Z. Your prize is 99 more cents. This movie wants me to think Cassie's primary superpower is seeing the future. But what I've actually seen Cassie do is fall in the water multiple times and steal cars. I think those are her real powers. I guess the S is powered by the magic of carbonation? Cassie is conscious enough to instinctively shield her eyes from a firework blast, but doesn't have an instinct to, use those arms to try and swim.
She's not breathing.
Does that mean the movie's finally over? Because I'm okay with that.
We're still here, Cassie.
Unfortunately, I am too.
Are you all immediate family?
Yes, they're all mine.
These children have been away from their respective homes for weeks. And yes, the movie told us they were essentially abandoned. One of them had bills due to keep her apartment, so that would be gone. One had a stepdad that would at very least be pretending to care to avoid jail. And the other had a housekeeper that would lose her job if she lost the kid. But now Cassie wants them, so okay, I guess.
Kung Pao chicken is perfect. How'd you know?
At this point, none of the things Cassie manages to do should be a surprise. Are the children paying attention at all?
I can see better than I ever have.
Can you see me flipping you the bird with each hand?
Whatever the future holds, we'll be ready.
Given your film's box office performance, I'm going to say your future doesn't hold jack Nah.
I'm burning! My face is on fire!
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Oh my God! Oh, what are you going to do? Oh God!
You're saying I'm an overdone piece of meat? Is that what you're saying? What am I, a plate of dry steak butt meat here to amuse you?
I know Taekwondo.
You.
I'm not saying that to be conceited.
Also, on page 5, there are some terms which need clarification. Suspension.
Hanging on ropes from the ceiling.
For what possible reason?
Maddie!
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
Ice fishing is,
I know what ice fishing is.
Sorry. You just seem like, kind of an indoor girl.